Here's the thing. Birds are real, and it's mean to say that they're not.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Birds Are Real podcast.
Do you hear that? The season is bright. The snow is falling. It's winter. It's a
It is
winter
winter.
episode. I don't think we've done a winter episode before.
I don't think so. I think we may have been on break between one of the seasons during the entire winter season. So
I
yeah,
think we did. Yeah. So this is exciting. We have uncharted territory, new novel information for our listeners. So you're really going to want to tune into this one because it's a good episode.
yeah. This is something you've never seen before. This is unprecedented. So
Yeah,
stay tuned.
absolutely. Welcome. This is a podcast about birding. We're going to talk about birds. If the name didn't give it away, we do think that birds are real here. And we're going to start, as we normally do, with our field notes. Um, I have some kind of exciting field notes this time around, so I'm excited to share. But how about you? What's been going on?
Yeah. Also some semi-exciting field notes. I did get a lifer. And I think this is my first lifer in like a couple of months. So it's pretty exciting in that
First
sense.
Virginia beach lifer?
No, I had the Sanderling, and then I
Right.
had the
Yeah.
I was gonna say brown pelican. I had a couple there, yeah.
That was
But I
months
went
ago.
to
Oh man, that's crazy. I thought that was like 2 weeks ago.
I know time's flying. Um, yeah, I went to a new place called First Landing State Park. I thought it
Most
was great.
normal name you've been to since
Yeah,
moving.
it was either First Landing State Park or Pleasure House Point that I was gonna go to.
Nice.
But yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah, there's so many places that I still haven't checked out around here, and I definitely want to. But I'm really excited to go back to this place, even though I just went. So First Landing State Park, very very cool spot because you get a lot of different habitat like su in a very short amount of time. You get beachfront, you get like sand dunes, um, forest, wetland, all within like a few minutes of each other walking. So got to see a lot of different birds. Still the pileated woodpecker still eludes me. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen someday. I know it will. But they're here year round, so I'm sure I'll see one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Um, what really drew me to want to come to Forest Landing State Park is, and I'm sure maybe this was possible at Pleasure House Point too, but on eBird it was just like very obvious that this could occur at eBird at First Landing was the potential for razor bills.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know they
And
went
like
that
this is
far
like
south.
yeah, and this is like the season for it. Um, I didn't see any, unfortunately, this time around. But and I don't know if they're going to be like super far off the coast or if they, come onto land, or onto the beach at all. But yeah, I only thought I would be able to see one of those in like Maine or something. But they're down here apparently, and in the wintertime especially. So, um, yeah, hopefully can see one of those. And yeah, I mainly came to see like some sea ducks and stuff. I didn't get to see the surf scoters or wanted to see a red-throated loon, didn't get to see that. What I did see though was a brown-headed nuthatch. Um,
Oh, really? Wow.
and they're year-round here. I think they're like quite rare in Philly. I don't think
Yeah, that would be in a rare
even
bird
popped up
alert
on our
for
radar.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're year-round in the Virginia Beach area. I almost mistook it for some sort of warbler at first, but it's a nuthatch. It does its nuthatch thing going down
Mhm.
the tree trunks, and it's just got a brown like brown cap on it. Hence the name brown-headed nuthatch. And yeah, so that was pretty cool to see.
That is very
They're
cool.
There are also red-breasted nuthatches around, which I haven't seen yet, but
Nice.
also keeping my eyes peeled for that.
That's really interesting. I feel like a lot of things that I was seeing in Maine are things that you were seeing in Virginia Beach, two very different places. But
Along
because
the
I did
coast, though,
see,
so it kind of makes sense a
that's
little
true,
bit.
coastal. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw some red-breasted nuthatches there. Nuthatches are really cool. I don't know. I really like them. They're always a little bigger than I like expect. I don't know if that makes any sense because they're small still, but they have kind of
yeah,
long wings, I think. I don't know.
yeah. You're right. When they fly, their wingspan is a little larger than you'd think it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's really exciting. The razor bills. Okay, so I'll tell you when I saw one or two razor bills in Maine, and I was on a boat, but we were next to an island, so it was in between the island and us. So it was like technically close to shore. So hopefully you'll be able to see one without needing like a big fancy scope. Um,
Oh, that's good to know.
but I mean,
Okay,
that was like an island in the middle of this sea, so I don't really know.
got it. I almost forgot to mention. I should mention that my shoulder was pretty screwed up. It's better now. For all the people concerned at home. Um, it's either me getting old or me sleeping on it wrong. Probably both. But I didn't bring my camera because that thing's like heavy. Just
Yeah.
imagine lifting up a 10-pound dumbbell at all times. It kind of wears on your shoulders a little bit. So I only brought my binoculars. It was kind of freeing. I was also just deathly afraid that I would see a razor bill and I just wouldn't have my camera and I'd be super sad. But it was kind of liberating being there without the camera, just looking at the birds, without the focusing on the photos. But yeah.
Cool. Very cool. I mean, I'm glad you found this place. Seems like it's gonna be a good one for the winter.
Hmm.
Um, I also found a new place and I also got a lifer.
Oh wow.
Yep. So over Thanksgiving, I went back home to my parents' house in Connecticut, and I had mentioned on the podcast a couple weeks back they saw some pipits, which I have been
Hmm.
desperately trying to see pipits. And so we went to the place they saw pipits, which was Harkness Memorial State Park. I had been once there before, but that was in 2018, I think. It was in the summer, and I was just taking pictures of butterflies at the time. I was really in a insect photography era back then. But so we went this time, and it's kind of on, like it's along the coast, like the coast, right? In Connecticut, it's the Long Island Sound, but still coast, I guess. And it's along the coast, and it was so cold. Like it was, probably 30 degrees, but the wind was absolutely howling. It was nuts. There were like waves. There's not normally waves in most places in Connecticut because it's like a fake beach, Long Island Sound.
Right, yeah.
But there were waves, and so like there were like not birds out there, or no songbirds flying around because it it was too windy. So
Right.
that was a bit of a bust. But I was checking out eBird, and in another state very close to where I live in Connecticut, Rhode Island, that is a separate state for those of you who didn't know, there is a beach called Watch Hill. Someone very famous has a house in Watch Hill. That person is Taylor Swift. She was not there, but I did see a lifer. Actually, while we were there, there's a lighthouse. You can kind of drive out to like the very end of Watch Hill Point, whatever. There's a lighthouse, and it's actually a pretty big birding destination. There were a lot of people birding there. And producer Rochelle went with me, and there was actually a very clear view of Taylor Swift's house. So she spent the whole time staring out of her binoculars at Taylor Swift's house. Did not see anyone because why would she be there in the middle of winter? But I went looking for birds, as I do, and saw some cool stuff I'd seen before, a lot of it, but some very cool stuff nonetheless. A bunch of black scoters, a whole like group of them in their non-breeding plumage. I couldn't figure out what they were for a long time. They kind of looked like ruddy ducks, but they didn't have the blue bills. They didn't have the tails sticking up. So luckily there was like a really experienced birder there. He let me know, and then I verified it afterward.
Nice.
But that was pretty cool. Brants, saw a lot of brants there, which was fun because we saw those brants at Statuist, a year ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get like a great look at them. They were kind of far away. These ones were just sitting right in front of us. Actually, right after we're done recording, I'm gonna post it on my Instagram account. A little
Nice.
plug at Birds Are Real Sam for those of you who don't follow me. So, and then common loon. There were a couple common loons around. Always fun to see a common loon. Non-breeding plumage, so a little harder to
Hmm.
spot, but still very fun to see. And then as we're walking around the lighthouse, well, there's this one guy who's like really intensely staring at this rock. So we go over to the rock, and on that rock is a purple sandpiper, which I thought was a lifer, but I guess I'd seen one before. It was on my life list.
We saw a bunch of Sashuists.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhode Island, same. I guess you just see the Rhode Island birds. So
Hmm.
purple sand. Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was on the rocks.
And then also some ruddy turnstones. They were not ruddy at the time, not in their breeding plumage, so I did not recognize that. But that was pretty fun to see. So we spent a lot of
Hmm.
time looking at that. And then we looked up on the lighthouse. Like, there's the big old lighthouse, but there's the little house attached to a lighthouse.
Yep.
So on the roof of that, on the shingles, are a bunch of snow buntings. So saw some snow
Oh.
buntings. Pretty fun. That's a lifer for me. They were doing some really interesting stuff where I don't know if it was just because they were on like a slanted roof with shingles or if this is how they move, but they were like moving backwards. So they'd be like facing, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see they were facing this way and kind of angled, but like whenever they wanted to move, instead of turning around or like moving forward, they would kind of like shuffle backwards. And it was, I don't know, it was very fun to see. So,
Snow bunting. Very cool.
very cool. I learned an interesting fact about snow buntings too, which is that, they have their breeding plumage, which is basically like pure white with some black, hence the name snow bunting. And then they have their non-breeding plumage, which is what they're in now. And there's a lot more like rufous color, like brown splotches, stuff like that. And did you know that instead of molting like normal birds, what snow buntings do is they rub their feathers in the snow and the friction removes that pigment, and that's why they're white.
It removes the pigment.
Yep.
Interesting.
That's like, it was like a little upsetting to hear that, but
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how that even works. Do they leave like colors in the snow?
I don't know. Okay, so I should preface this. I should have prefaced this, I guess, by saying this was on allaboutbirds.org, which is generally a very trusted site. But when I
Generally pretty
looked it up,
reliable.
like I,
Yeah.
I couldn't find a lot of supporting evidence. So maybe I've just lied to our thousands of listeners, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, that's actually our main goal for this podcast, just to spread misinformation. So
Yeah,
that's great. No, yeah, I'll have to look into that too. That sounds interesting. But like you said, all about birds, typically a pretty reliable resource.
pretty reliable. It's a
Um,
.org after all. You can always trust a .org.
that's more misinformation we're spreading. Okay. Cool. Yeah, snow buntings, I think I was almost gonna say I'm allowed to see them here. I think I can see them here.
You're allowed.
Um, I'm allowed. Uh, yeah, I think I can see them here. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled. Um,
Very cool. So
cool.
rocks, you're on the coast. I mean, I happen to see them on a roof, but apparently they like to build their nests like in between big coastal rocks. So
Huh.
keep an eye there.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Cool.
Cool.
So I think those are our field notes. I think those were a little more exciting than our past episodes. So that's a little fun.
I know. You,
Do
you had to
lifer for
wait a
each of
couple
us.
weeks for this episode, but it was worth it, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to
You-
the hoot topic. This week's hoot topic, actually important to note, we confirmed that you cannot text a hoot topic to the email. It does not show up.
mm,
Tried it out with some friends, and it did not show up in our inbox. So If you have texted a Hoot topic to birdsarereal.pod@gmail.com, we did not receive it. So please send an email instead. We are low on Hoot topics. I have a little something later in the episode that's, I think, going to convince all of you to send a Hoot topic, but we'll see. Please send them in. Again, birdsarereal.pod@gmail.com. And like literally anyone, any question, I promise we're not going to think you're weird for asking a question. We're actually going to really think you're cool if you ask us a question. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, totally agree. All our viewers that send us in Hoot topics, they're better than the viewers that don't. So
It's
just
true.
think
We
about
have a
that.
list.
Yeah.
We have a list. We check it twice. Um, and the ones who don't send who topics, we have them listed as naughty. So just, keep that in
Just keep
mind.
that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This who topic was actually asked to me personally, in person, by a loyal listener. Jacob, thank you for sending in the Hoot topic. By sending in, I mean speaking to me. And the question is, it's actually kind of a fun one. If you'll remember a couple episodes ago, one of our Hoot topics was, what's your best bird fact? In this case, the question is, what is your worst bird fact?
Hmm. Interesting.
It's a good question. Hard to think of one because I like bird facts. I kind of like them all.
Yeah, I feel like bird facts are like inherently good. So it's
Hmm.
hard to think of a worst one, you know? Like
I
what
have
does
an
worst
advantage here,
mean?
though. Oh, well, so this is how I'm taking it. My
Okay.
advantage is that at my work, 3 times a week, I provide a bird fact to my team, to my department, and I get to see their
Personality hire.
reactions, right? Yeah, exactly. I get to see their reactions when I give these bird facts. Generally, disinterest. People aren't listening, they don't care. Every once in a while, though, I get like a look of disgust or like people don't like some of these facts. And it's always a little surprising to me because, I like them all. But people have some negative reactions to some of these facts. And so one, which I think is probably the one that got the worst reaction, is how birds, their knees go backwards when they
Yeah.
walk, like compared to ours. That's not true because that's not their knees. Those are their ankles.
Oh, their ankles. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
True, true.
So like they have little tiny like thighs into knees right where the leg starts. It goes then down, which is essentially the equivalent of our shin bone. And then what you think is the knee is an ankle. And then it goes down into their like long feet and toes. So it's not actually backwards. It just kind of seems like that because of the proportions.
And this got looks of disgust.
People were upset by it. I don't know.
Mm,
I think it was like it made a lot of things click for me. Like why are they like that? It suddenly clicked, but I don't think people like knowing about that. People don't really like ankles. They don't like feet very much. Or they
yeah,
really like feet. So it's like kind of no in between.
that's true. I think it also could be something like people don't like their worldview challenged. So when you just presented this, you know, life-changing information, I think people just inherently get defensive about it a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm struggling with this a little bit. Because like we said, bird facts are good. But I think, and I heard this one recently. I think the worst bird fact is that snow buntings rub their rub their wings into the snow and get rid of their pigment. I think it's the worst fact because it may or may not be true.
I know.
And it's a little upsetting as well. No, on a real note, I actually can't think of one. Maybe it's that the worst bird fact. Maybe it's that just like emus and cassowaries can like really screw you up like pretty easily.
Yep. As we went over season one, one of our
Oh,
one
we
of
did
my
we
favorite
did
episodes
we
to
did
to
talk
to
about that,
prep
yeah.
around the world in 7 flightless birds, I believe is the name of the title.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that was a great episode.
that was a pretty good one, right?
episode 4, season 1, if you want to
Something
check
like
that
that.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of
Um,
popped off season 1 if you think about it.
I mean, yeah, we did. Not that we're not popping off now, but yeah, it was you know, a little better than yeah, they can kill people. They don't very
Yeah.
often. It's overblown the amount that they do, but they can.
Yeah. If you know a bird fact that you don't dislike or your own worst bird fact, let us know.
Yeah, maybe we'll post a story. Follow our pod Instagram. This is different than my personal photography Instagram at Birds Are Real Pod. Make sure you're following that. We'll post a story, respond to that story. It's even easier than sending us a hoot topic. So as we mentioned, it's winter, it's December, it's cold. Most birds have their more drab plumage going. That only means
Hmm.
one thing. It's the holiday season. This holiday season, we are so happy to be sponsored by. I'm just kidding. No, we don't have any
That's pretty funny.
sponsors. I'm gonna bleep that out actually, because no free ads. But potential sponsors, that's what you're missing out on. Um,
J just note that whatever Sam said was quite funny. Very
yeah.
common sponsor for all the influencers out there.
Well, okay, so you know what the most interesting thing about this season is not bird related? Every year, without fail, a certain song enters the Billboard top charts, 10, 100, I don't know, but it enters the top charts. And that
Mariah
song
Carey.
is, of course, yep, All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey. Every year. I don't really understand like the Billboard charts and how that's calculated, kept track of stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere it has like a record, or it's at least in like one of the most like consecutive years of entering the top 10 or like top 100 because it always enters during December.
Hmm.
So what that means to me is if we want to expand our reach, expand our influence as we are trying to do, spread the good word about birds being real, we we need to follow in Mariah Carey's footsteps. We need to put out a holiday banger.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Get
Okay.
on that Billboard chart.
Reliable notoriety. Like every year, people will have to think about us. So here's the thing, though. I I like to try to be creative as I can be, you know, but I sometimes spread myself a little too thin. I do these bird drawings, they're not very good. I do the editing here, it's quite amateur. I cannot really write music, not lyrics anyway. So I think I'm gonna humble myself, take a step back. I think we need to kind of borrow from existing material, which is kind of what music and art is all about, actually, if you think about it.
I think that's kind of what anything's all about. I don't think anything wasn't, isn't there something that, isn't there some sort of saying that like there's no original thought or like you can't create anything original because you've you've been influenced by everything that's in your life or something. So,
Yeah, I think I was the
yeah,
person who thought of that first.
you said that word
Yeah.
verbatim.
Yeah, I was the first one.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Okay. So, rights wise, you don't want to choose something that's still in the public domain. So we can't choose All I Want for Christmas Is You. What we can do is go back in time, choose a real oldie, a couple hundred years. I'm talking about the 12 Days of Christmas. According to my
Ooh,
very in-depth research, Wikipedia, it's been around since like the 1700s at least, maybe longer.
really? Hmm.
Yeah. So, for those unfamiliar, the 12 Days of Christmas, it's a traditional English, and when I say English, I mean like from England, folk song where every day this guy is given progressively more and more birds, and then eventually like people jumping and like playing the drums. It's a little strange. I don't know how they do it, but they do it for 12 days straight. And that's kind of it builds on itself and keeps going, right? As I mentioned, the song already has a bunch of birds as the gifts, so we're gonna make it bird themed, of course. But it's the like, people get involved. There's performers, stuff like that. I think we can just make it all birds, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I was playing like the song in my head. I don't think they're all birds. Like,
No,
I think
I
the
mean there's
last,
a
yeah, okay.
maids a milking and lords a leaping, stuff like that.
Okay,
Weird
yeah,
stuff. So we're gonna make them all birds, and
awesome.
we are a non-denominational podcast. So we're not gonna make a Christmas song. We're gonna make a song that anyone can enjoy in the month of December or whenever. You could bump this in January or July. It doesn't matter. But we're gonna call this the 12 Days of Birdmas, right?
I think that's pretty catchy.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a banger for many Decembers to come.
Okay, wonderful. So just to put this ahead of the whatever before we start going, we're not going to sing on this episode. It's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. You can sing along at home. I'm going to speak the lyrics. We'll get to something at the end where there's maybe a potential that something happens, but just keep listening. You got to hear it.
All right.
But so the original song starts like this. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. Do you know what a partridge is?
I know it's a bird. Um, I might be getting exposed here. I've done a birding podcast for two, 3.5 seasons, and I'm not exactly sure what a partridge is. It's given like quail slash dove type energy. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't blame you because this is like exclusively a, not in the Americas bird. It's in Europe, it's in Asia, I believe. There's partridges in Africa too. It's a pretty broad term. It encapsulates a
Mhm.
lot of different types of birds. So I think part of what we need to do, since we are based in North America, that's kind of where you get your hits. We're going to change this up. So all the birds we mentioned are birds you can find in North America. So no partridges. We're going to change it up. A
Mhm.
partridge is in the, what is it, Galliforms family, which
Okay.
is, it's got like quails, it's got pheasants. To your point,
Okay.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
got
I
grouses,
was on
it's
the right
got
track.
turkeys, things like that. It actually even includes
Gotcha.
peacocks. So it's a pretty wide, you know, order. That's the order, not genus. Did I say genus? But yeah, it's like a ground nesting kind of plump bird that it can fly. It just doesn't fly super well, right?
Hmm. Got it.
So one thing you might be wondering then, which is why would there be a partridge, a ground nesting bird, in a pear tree? And
People
I
aren't talking
found
about it.
people aren't talking about it, and it's
Yeah.
because it's really dumb. So the reason why, probably the reason why the line is a partridge in a pear tree is because the French word for partridge is perdrix,
Oh,
Perdrix. And that sounds like pear tree. So like English people just like misheard a French guy. They're like, "Oh, partridge in a pear tree. That's where they're found." So that's the origin of partridges in a pear tree. It's not something you'll actually see. It's just French.
interesting. So like side note, I also didn't know this was like an English, like as in like England song. I just assumed it was American, like
Yeah.
old American, I guess. Yeah.
No, no. Yeah, originated in England in maybe the 1700s, maybe earlier, but
Hmm.
like
Lords
1700s
of
is where
Leaping, that
they
makes
found
sense.
the first like written bars. Um,
Written bars.
um, so I'm thinking for, bringing it over to North America, we're not going to include a pear tree because we didn't misunderstand any French, right? We know that
Mhm.
partridges are ground nesters, that galliforms are generally ground nesters. So I'm thinking we do either like a turkey or maybe a grouse, dusky grouse.
Yeah, I'm down with all those. Turkey
Okay.
just could be more American, you know?
Well, I want to keep turkey in our back pocket for a little later on down the road
Okay,
because it
got it.
might it might come up again. Spoiler alert. But my recommendation for a first line, and we can work on this together, but on the first day of Birdmas, Birds Are Real podcast gave to me an angry dusky grouse chasing me, which happened to me, of
Ah,
course, right?
yeah.
Or if we want to be like more mass appeal, not podcast specific, we could say it like this. On the first day of Birdmas, the birders went to see an angry dusky grouse chasing me. Because we're not like giving people birds, we're just going to see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like it?
I think they're both great. The first one where we name drop ourselves, it's a little shameless, but I kind of like it.
Okay.
Um, and say the second one again.
On the first day of Birdmas, the birders went to see an angry dusky grouse chasing me.
I like the visual of that a lot better. Just
Yeah.
like a bunch of birders with their binoculars watching you running away from a dusky
Yeah.
grouse. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that was the move. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Good starting foundation. Day one, done. Day two. In the original, the guy gets two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree because it kind of builds on
Mhm.
itself. Something I've never really been too clear on with this song is like, is this guy getting a separate partridge in a pear tree every single day for 12 days? Or is he just like saying cumulatively, this is what I've gotten over the past few days?
I think it's the former, even though it's more ridiculous that way.
Okay,
Like
so
I think it's cumulatively building on on itself.
right, so like on day two, that's already four birds and two trees. This person's getting a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
Okay. So I I guess yeah, that's how we'll count it then. We'll have a bird count at the end. But try to keep
You're
track at
getting
home.
chased by a lot of grouses, I
I'm getting
guess, in this
chased by a
song.
lot of grouse. Grice, do we think? Plural of
Groose?
grouse?
Let us know in
Mouse,
the
mice?
comments.
Yeah, let us know. What is the
Always wanted
plural
to
of
say that.
grouse? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So turtle dove is referring to the European turtle dove, which is essentially
hmm
just like the European version of the mourning dove. They look very similar. In wingspan, they have pretty similar powers, I think.
Is
So
it the European turtle dove or the Eurasian turtle dove? I'm trying to think of the wingspan card.
I, well, when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it said European turtle dove. But I
Okay,
think a
cool, cool,
lot of
cool.
times when it's a European bird, you can also use Eurasian because like it's the same continent, same
Right,
landmass.
right. So they
So
can got it.
often they are in both.
Cool, cool.
So I mean, we could just keep it simple, replace it with mourning dove.
On the second day of on the second day of Birdmas,
The birders went to see two mourning doves and an angry darn it, I had this. An angry
an
dusky
angry
grouse
dusky
chasing
grouse.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Because the original song it just has two turtle doves. There's no action verb there. It's just two
No,
turtle
no.
doves
Until
flying.
we get to like six, I want to say there's no verbs or anything.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. Um, day three in the original, the guy gets three French hens,
hmm
and then two turtle doves, a partridge, and a pear tree. French hens are unsurprisingly a French breed of chicken.
hmm
Apparently, they are referred to as faveroles, faveroles. I said we're not going to mistranslate French. I don't know how to pronounce it though. We're going to mispronounce French. But
Sounds almost Italian.
the faverol, yeah, faveroles chicken, something like that. I'm thinking like we don't have wild chickens here. That's just like not something that
Right.
exists in North America. This is where I'm thinking maybe we slot in the turkeys.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's a good replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. Because chickens are also in this Galliforms order, so
hmm
they are like related,
Pheasant type of bird. Yeah.
pheasant type of bird, and an iconic American bird, the wild turkey. Would love to give it some representation here.
So
Um,
three wild turkeys.
three wild turkeys. We went to see them because they travel in packs. It's not
They do,
far-fetched to see them.
for sure.
I mean, we
Yeah.
could go completely off the rails here. We could say like three chimney swifts or something. We don't have to keep with the original.
Hmm. I think just syllables wise, I think three wild turkeys, three French hens, three wild turkeys might just
Yeah,
fit better. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I write these down. So we got two mourning doves, three wild turkeys, and an angry dusky grouse chasing me. All right. Day four. Day four is an interesting one because this is not the first time that this song has been changed. In fact,
Hmm.
day four is where the lyrics have changed the most over time. The one that I've heard the most that most people are probably familiar with is on the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me four calling birds, as in like
Oh yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
birds are calling,
Four
right?
calling birds.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But throughout like history, people have found written versions differently. So people have said four collie birds, four canary birds, three colored board or four colored birds, four
Oh, interesting.
curly birds. Curly bird. I don't know. Couldn't figure out what a curly bird was. Four collie dogs, not even birds. And then this other one just says ducks quacking. So
Four ducks quacking. It's kind
yeah,
of fire.
that is kind of fire,
Wait,
right?
what's a collie bird? Like
So
Colly?
Colly. Yep. Or
Interesting.
IE, either way. Basically, it
Word
all
from.
seemed to be like referring to a songbird, except for the ducks and the
Ah.
dog one. So,
Hmm.
I'm thinking if we stick with kind of calling as our basis, then it makes me think of songbirds in general. And if we're thinking about really loud songbirds, songbirds that you would hear calling, my mind goes to wrens.
Yeah, we could go with a wren. I was thinking maybe cardinal, but we could go with the wren.
If we want to stay like syllable structure, winter wren,
Hmm.
four winter wrens, it fits.
Four winter wrens. Four calling birds.
Four
Yeah,
cardinals also works though.
true, true.
Which I'm gonna leave this one up to you. Which one do you want to go
I
with?
think my head initially went to Cardinals, but I do like the added touch with the winter wren. Stays on theme. Little more festive that way. I like the four winter wrens. Yeah.
Okay, four winter wrens. Let's do it. All right. At this point, I believe we are up to 20 cumulative birds and four trees in the
Yeah, wait,
original song, at least.
what's the mathematical is this like factorials or is that different?
It's like not quite. I was trying to figure it out. I eventually figured it out. It only really makes sense once you get to 12. So I'm gonna stop like keeping track, but I have the final count once we get to all 12 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
But I'm
good.
pretty sure
Yeah.
right now it's 20 because it's like 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 10,
10. Yeah.
plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6. That's 16, plus
4.
2 plus 1 plus 1. So that's 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Good
All
math, good
right.
math.
Yeah. Um, Day five. This is a big part of the original song. Five golden rings. It's kind of the
Oh,
center
yeah.
point, even though it's six is the center, but five is the center point of the song. Um, it's pretty impactful. There's not really something that I found that I think fits super well. So we could go with the gold, something like golden eyes, which are a type of duck. We could go with a ring. So we could go like ring-billed gulls. That's type of gull. Uh, we could
I
be
my head initially went to ringneck duck.
okay. Ringneck duck's pretty good. Kind of
Yeah.
combines the two.
Hmm.
Evokes. Well, do you remember actually when we saw the ringneck ducks? The person who was also there looking at them thought they might be golden eyes.
True. Yeah.
So all kind of goes together. We could be a little cheeky and say five golden wings, and then in parentheses have ED space warblers. Golden winged warbler is a type of
Hmm.
warbler. It gets a little wordy, so I kind of like ring-necked duck.
Five ringneck
Five
ducks.
ring-necked ducks. It's perfect.
I I'm kind of leaning towards the golden eye. I'm not gonna lie, because we keep the iconic gold in there,
That's true.
and I feel like when we
Five,
sing it, we can emphasize that a little bit.
five golden
Um,
eyes. Yeah.
but to the layperson, to the non-birder, it could come off as kind of creepy. Five golden eyes
Well,
if
okay,
they
we
don't know
can
it's a duck.
in the final version, we can do like five golden eyes, and then I'll whisper, "That's a duck," and then it'll launch into the rest. Four, three, two,
Okay,
one. Yeah,
sounds
perfect,
good.
right?
Wait, so we are singing?
Well, not today. Not today. We're just
Not today.
imagining.
Okay,
We're
okay,
just
cool.
imagining it.
Just throwing ideas out there. Yeah, I mean, so if you're okay with the five golden eyes, I think that would work pretty well.
I like five golden eyes. And then I'll put
Okay,
in parentheses,
that's a
"That's
duck.
a duck."
Yeah.
All right, now we get to the verbs. So
Oh,
original
okay.
on day six. Well, actually, so what's nice about day 6 and 7 is it's geese a laying and swans a swimming, which we have geese and swans in North America. Don't really need to make a change. We can just in our mind know that we're talking about Canada geese probably and like trumpeter swans.
I'd like to think we're talking about cackling geese personally, but yeah, you're right.
Well,
We don't need to switch that up too much.
if we said we were talking about cackling geese, someone would just correct us. So,
That's true. To be like, oh yeah,
well,
the head to neck ratio is not right.
yeah, it's not. I do want to posit one slight change though. I don't really
Hmm.
like the imagery of like, we're saying the birders went to see six geese a laying. Like, I kind of want to give the geese their privacy. They don't really want us like peeping on them while they're laying eggs. So I would
That's
change
fair.
that to six geese a honking because they do be
Six
a
geese a
honking.
honking. Cool. Yeah, I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
All right.
Yeah.
And then swans a swimming. We're fine with that.
So this one. Yep. This is some slight alliteration there, which is also kind of nice. Swans are
I know.
swimming.
So it's interesting. Like there is only like one line in this entire song that rhymes, or I guess two, um, which is the "My true love gave to me a partridge in a pear
Partridge
tree,"
in a pear
and that's the
tree.
only thing we have to worry about in terms of like rhyming. Nothing else rhymes in this thing. So
Cool.
yeah, but it's nice to have that alliteration. Day 8 starts getting a little tricky. This is where we get into the humans. Eight maids a milking.
Ah,
We got to heavily change that, I think.
severely even. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to move away from the milking verb as a whole. I don't think we need that in there. It's not really something that birds do. I think also if we have enough syllables, we don't necessarily need a verb at all. So if we do want to stick with like a
Hmm.
milk theme, uh, we could say cattle egrets.
Cattle egrets. So wait, all we need is four syllables now?
Maids a milking
M
cattle
maids
egrets.
milking. Cattle egrets. Okay. So just four syllables.
Or we could do like egrets fishing.
How about this? I think the syllables work. So maids a milking made me think of cows. The
Mhm.
cowbird, right?
Oh,
Cowbird scheming.
that's so good. That's
They
so
do be
good.
scheming.
They
So what
do
is it?
be scheming.
Is that
That's
eight
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 cowbirds
cowbirds?
scheming.
Yeah.
Wow. This is why we're doing this on the podcast, people. You just, this is the best line we've come up with so far.
The ideas flow. Two heads are better than one.
That's
That's
so
also
true.
something you said for the first time ever.
Yeah, I was the one who came up with that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, day 9, we have ladies dancing in the original. So, I mean, birds do some pretty good dances, and I think there's one bird in particular that we know quite well that does a very nice dance. And when I say no, we have never seen it, but we've heard it. We've done an episode on it, and I'm talking about good old
Oh,
American woodcock.
yeah.
So it could be 9 woodcocks dancing. If we want to break our syllable structure and, kind of brand this towards us, we could say 9 timber doodles tangoing, but it's a bit of a mouthful.
Timber doodles tangoing. Yeah, I think that's a lot.
So we could stick with woodcocks dancing, but we all know what
Woodcock
like we
dancing.
really want to say. You cool with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Is there pull out the thesaurus? Is there a cooler way to say dancing?
Let me pull up the thesaurus. Luckily, I had this for no reason in particular up already. So
Mm. So two syllable word that's also just means dancing.
let's see.
Two or nine woodcocks dancing.
Oh, I'm on the dictionary tab. Let's go to thesaurus. Okay. So it's giving us stepping, waltzing, strutting, shuffling, prancing, footing, hoofing, boogieing, bopping. They're kind of
Nine woodcocks
bopping.
bopping. Nine woodcocks bopping is fire. Yeah.
All right.
Thesaurus for the win. I was
But
thinking
amazing.
prancing, but they're not really prancing too much.
No, they're bopping though.
They are bopping.
Wow. Okay.
You think songwriters and rappers just have this thesaurus up whenever they're songwriting?
I do think so actually. I think they have like thesauruses and thesauri, thesauruses and rhyming dictionaries. I'm pretty sure.
Rhyming dictionaries. Oh,
Yeah. I don't know if people still use those, but I think
I didn't
back in
know
the
those
day being like
existed.
10 years ago. But all right. So now here we are at day 10, still in the human phase. Lords a leapin'. This one's the weirdest one to me because like I kind of get the rest of them. What are you gonna do with lords a leapin'? What are they leaping over?
Lords of Leaping. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense with the England connection, Lords, but
Yeah.
yeah, what are they leaping over? It's a good question.
Like I don't know, but if we're thinking lords, maybe we're thinking royalty, right? Maybe we're
Hmm.
thinking kings, king birds, kinglets, northern beardless tyrannulates, and possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's true. Lords. Royal turn is a thing.
True.
Uh, royal turn. Nah, it doesn't work. You have a suggestion?
I mean, we could do something like kinglets jumping if we want to keep the leaping sort of thing. Kinglets kind of jump up and,
Hmm.
up and down.
They
Uh,
do. Kinglet's kind of bob too, if you think about it.
they do kind of bob.
Kinglets. I like Kinglet because of the connection with
Mhm.
Lord.
I
Um,
can pull up the thesaurus again. Let's see if there's a synonym for jumping
okay.
that we like.
Or there's 10
Hopping,
kingbirds hopping. Yeah.
bounding, bouncing, springing, vaulting, hurdling.
Kind of like the word bounding, but I don't think they bound per se. We
Yeah,
could
I feel like
also
you need to go
do
away.
we could also work with the kingbird here.
True.
Kingbirds Kingbirds just kind of auriform at the
I
top
know
of
they
like
just kind of
trees
sit
though.
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very kingly thing to do.
Yeah. Maybe
10
kinglets
kingbirds far.
bouncing.
I was gonna say kingbirds
Kingbirds
farming.
aura farming. We could.
Um, Kingbird 10, no. Kingbirds farming. Um, yeah, we could do kinglets bouncing, but I feel like it's a little too similar to the woodcocks bopping.
Oh, true. We could do springing. They kind of
Springing.
spring, right?
Yeah. Okay. Kinglet
Okay.
spring. Yeah.
Kinglets springing. Cool.
It could be a variety of kinglets. It could be a golden crowned. It could be a ruby crowned.
I know. It could be anything. Um, okay, day 11. I have a bit of a hot take here, which is that I think we can actually leave it as is. The original for day 11, I believe, is still referring to humans, but it can be taken as birds. 11 pipers piping, right? I
Oh,
think,
perfect.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure they're referring to like musicians playing music, pipes, flutes, something like that. I think we can
Yeah.
just apply it to sandpipers though, because like what else would you call what they do other than piping?
Listen, and I think you also said this first. Every good song has a double entendre.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think we needed one of those in there, and we got it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to Our very last day, day 12. The final day of Birdmas, right? The original lyric is 12 drummers drumming. And so if we're thinking about like a drumming bird, I feel like
Woodpecker.
woodpecker or
Yeah.
flicker if we need that for syllables.
Woodpecker. Oh, yeah. Woodpecker. Woodpecker's 3 syllables is kind of tough.
I know. That's why flicker, I think, kind of helps.
12 flickers. Flicking. No.
Flicker's pecking, flicker's drumming, flicker's banging, I don't know.
Drilling.
Drilling.
Sounds too mechanical though. Sounds too
Yeah,
industrial for such a song.
that's true. That's true. We don't want people
Um,
thinking of like industrial
Construction.
waste during our wonderful song.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, wait. Let's take a little step back.
Okay.
No, the woodpeckers are the obvious, drumming bird. Anything else
Hmm.
though?
And it's a good question. Um, None that necessarily spring to mind for me.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I guess not. Yeah.
Maybe like
Flickers.
crows and ravens will sometimes like bop things with their beaks, right?
Yeah, yeah. 12 ravens.
Like I just don't know if they're known for that? Like a
That's
woodpecker is
true.
known for like drumming, basically.
Yeah, I do. You think, is there a one syllable? No, there's not. I was gonna say, is there a one syllable verb that ends in ing, and that's just like definitively doesn't exist because ing
No,
is
because
a
that would
single
be
syllable.
ing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to use a woodpecker though.
Okay, well, so here's the
But I
thing.
guess
The
yeah.
12th day only shows up one time in the song. So if there was ever a day to disregard the syllable structure, it's day 12.
Mhm. Would that just yeah? I mean, you're the music theory guy here. Would it just like taint the soul of the song if we're
I,
a
I don't think
syllable
so.
off
Because here's what
on
we could
12?
do, right? Because normally it's like 12 drummers drumming. So instead of that little pause after 12, we could do 12 woodpeckers pecking or like whatever our verb is. And that
12
works.
woodpeckers pecking. Yeah, I think it does work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to use a different verb other than pecking? Because would peck, or if we could, it could be a little repetitive
It
thing in
it
there.
is because then you get the pipers piping right after that. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah.
Okay. So we have our final verse all set. I'm gonna speak it. Uh, on the 12th day of Birdmas, the birders went to sea. 12 woodpeckers pecking, 11 pipers piping, 10 kinglets springing, 9 woodcocks bopping, 8 cowbirds scheming, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a honking, 5 golden eyes. That's a duck.
That's a dog.
4 winter wrens, 3 wild turkeys, 2 mourning doves, and an angry dusky grouse chasing me.
Sounds like
Kind of
a
fire, right?
kind of fire. I think it's gonna take the charts ablaze. I
I
think we've
think
done good
so.
here.
All
Yeah.
right. So for those keeping count, that is a final amount of 364 birds overall over those 12 days. So we're trying to see them. We'll be birding a lot, trying to see all these guys during the 12 days of Birdmas.
Do you think that's intentional? Because 364, like pretty much a bird for each day of the year.
Maybe. I mean, in the original, it's a lot of humans, so it's not like all birds,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just kind of how it works out
It's
math-wise,
an
I
interesting
guess.
coincidence. Yeah.
It is. Um, Well, so yeah, we obviously haven't sung this song. We are not singing this song, but as a bird miss present to you, the humble listener, if you're nice enough and you actually send in some Hoot Topics, you have to send in some Hoot Topics. I will consider recording this song with like an incredible amount of auto tune and vocal filters, so you won't even be able to tell that it's me singing it, and you won't have to hear my terrible singing voice, but we can record it. I think we can just upload it to Spotify. But again, you're gonna have to give something here. You gotta give.
You gotta give, yeah, gotta give us some Hoot Topics.
So
And
it,
I
it
think this is the biggest incentive we've ever had for
I
Hoot
know.
Topics.
If
Yeah.
if but here's I'm going to be serious about this. If we don't have five new Hoot topics by the next time we record, or maybe depending on when we record, by the next episode, it's off the table. It's not going to happen. So I'm talking to all of you, even you. Yes, I know you think I'm not talking to you. We mean it. If you're driving in your car right now, pause this. I know it's hard to remember to do Hoot topics while you're driving. Pause it. You have a smartphone. Tell Siri or Alexa or whoever's on your phone to give you a reminder in like 2 hours to send a Hoot topic. If you're at work, you're listening right now, you can't send in a Hoot topic, put an alarm on your phone for, 6 hours from now. Send in a Hoot topic. It can be just like the most basic thing ever. We're going to need it or you're not going to get the song.
Yeah, to everyone listening, this is the most serious I've seen Sam in the past 7 years. So he means business about this for sure. I'm not gonna
Yep.
be in the song at all because it's not part of my brand, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Keisha's
but
beyond the song.
yeah, yeah. But no, hey, listen, I want to hear the song, so you guys better send in the Hoot Topics. We'll try to we'll try to hit you on multiple social media fronts. Maybe you'll see an Instagram story here or there to remind you. But
Yep.
yeah,
All right. Game time. This
game
game
time.
I've prepared is I'm calling it the synonym game. The
Okay.
did I say cinnamon? Synonym game. That's hence the thesaurus that I had
Synonym.
open earlier.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm going to give you a bird name made up of only synonyms of a real bird name. And you have
Okay.
to try to tell me what it is. I saw people playing this in like a YouTube short with movie titles. So like for a movie title, an example would be Space Battles, A Fresh Optimism, in which case the answer would be Star Wars, A
Star
New
Wars: A
Hope.
New Hope.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you get it.
Yeah, sure. In theory.
The only issue is that for birds, most of them end with a like species name. So like sparrow, finch, hawk. There aren't really synonyms for this that aren't just names of other bird species.
Right. Yeah.
So in this case, I'm just going to give you a category of bird and I'm not going to include that in the synonym game. So if it were
Okay. That makes
sparrows,
sense.
for example, if the category were sparrows, I would say as my synonyms, snow-capped. And then the answer would be
White crowned sparrow.
white-crowned sparrow. Exactly. So I'm not saying
Okay,
anything about
cool.
sparrow. In this case for the game, we're going to put 1 minute on the clock. It's going to be very exciting, and we're going to see how
Oh,
many you can get through in 1 minute.
we're timing this. Okay. Whew,
Yep.
I didn't know the stakes were so real.
Content, baby. That's how they do it. So in your case, we're going to be going with warblers. These are all going to be types
Ooh,
of
okay.
warbler. Um,
Okay.
you
I'm
can,
nervous.
you don't have to get it right on your first guess. You can do multiple guesses per thing. Or if you're not getting it, you can say pass and we'll just go to the next one. That sound good?
Uh, Let me think about some warblers real quick.
Okay. I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock while you're doing that.
Okay.
And I'll give you the first one to start. So I'll say it, give you a second, then I'll say three, two, one, start, and then we'll go. How about that?
All right, sure. Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. The first one, the synonym is cowardly. Three, two, one, start.
Pass.
Sapphire armed.
Blue-winged warbler.
Yes. Unsaturated.
Unsaturated. Bland, drab. Well, pass.
Nutmeg state.
Chestnut sided?
It's a
No,
good guess, but what is the nutmeg state? Do you know?
I don't. Oh, Tennessee warbler.
Wrong
Connecticut
state.
warbler.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Uh, conifer.
Pine warbler.
Fleshy part of the hand.
Palm warbler.
Ordinary gold neck.
Ordinary gold neck. Common yellow throat.
Yeah. Um, darkness necked emerald.
Uh, black throated green warbler.
That's a minute. Hey, pretty
Oh,
good.
okay. Okay. Damn, the minutes are fast.
Yeah.
Do you have enough to do another minute?
Let's see. I think you'll probably get through them, but we'll roll back around to the ones you passed, and that should
Okay,
probably.
wait. So how many did I get there? Like five?
So let's see. You got blue winged, you got Connecticut, pine, palm, common yellowthroat, black-throated green. So that's six. That's pretty good.
Six? One every 10 seconds? Not too bad.
That's not bad.
Okay.
You want to
Wait,
try to
I'm like so lost on what was it? Unsaturated. I'm sure it'll be like a dumb moment when I get it. And then what was the first one?
cowardly?
Cowardly. All right, whatever. We'll see
Okay.
if we roll back to him.
Okay, another minute on the clock. We'll see
Yep.
how far we get. Ready? I'm not
Yep.
going to give you one ahead of time this time. I'm just going to jump right in.
Sure.
Three, two, one, go. Morning. That was the name of the
What?
warbler. Never mind. Okay, so we're skipping that one. Uh, I was supposed to say grieving, but
Oh, okay.
that's a morning. Okay, ready? Three, two, one, start. Tangerine headed.
Orange crowned warbler.
Volunteer state.
Tennessee warbler. Okay.
Capital of the volunteer state.
Memphis warbler. Wait, no, wait. Nashville warbler. Sorry, sorry.
Okay, this one, a chief clerk of any of various courts of law.
A chief clerk. Uh, pass.
Okay, back to the beginning. Cowardly.
Oh, cowardly, sheepish. Um, and then unsaturated is the other one.
Mhm.
Is
Think
it dull
colors.
warbler.
Think colors.
Pale warbler. Oh, ah, faded warbler.
That's time.
Dang, I stumped on
Those,
those.
I
Wait,
mean,
and
those were like the hardest ones. So, do you want to know what they are?
what was the chief thing again?
Oh, a chief clerk of any of various courts of law. I looked up the word. There are no synonyms. This is just the dictionary definition.
Well,
Um,
like adjudicator warbler, mag.
prothonotary.
Oh, dude, I should have got prothonotary low key.
I
All
would
right.
never have gotten prothonotary. Okay,
Okay.
so I want you. I'll wait. No timer now. Cowardly. There's a color associated with cowardice.
Oh, yellow. No, wait, no. Yeah,
Yep,
it is
just a yellow
yellow. Yeah, yeah,
warbler.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I wasn't thinking that like that. Okay.
Okay, then kind of in that vein of colors, unsaturated. What happens if you take a picture and remove all saturation?
White becomes dull.
Like if you take a saturation slider and
Yeah,
you bring it all the way to the left, you'll
yeah.
have a picture. You can see what's in it, but it will be in
Monotone. I don't know.
black and white.
Ah, black and white. Oh my God, black and white. Okay.
I was pretty proud of the black and white. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah,
Unsaturated.
those did take like a maybe one more step of thinking that I wasn't doing. Okay.
Yeah, I
That was
shouldn't have
fun
put
though.
them high up on the list like that, but
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, you did a good job. I mean, you got through almost all of them.
Hmm.
Those of you playing along at home, how many of those did you know? Does anyone actually know that Connecticut is the nutmeg state? I'm not sure. I know because I grew up in Connecticut, but
I didn't know, and then you said state, and I was just thinking, warblers with the names of states. So
yeah.
also,
Um,
I said Memphis warbler instead of Nashville warbler. It's kind of funny.
no, I mean, I've never been on the other side of this. I feel like if I'm on the clock having to do this, rapid fire, I might not get a single one. So I'm very impressed.
Hey, yeah, I'm sure we'll flip the script in one of our future episodes. and you'll be on the hot seat next time. Speaking of next episode, sounds like we'll have some guests on.
I think so. Yep. We'll
Cool.
coordinate that. Be ready, be excited. Tell your friends, tell yourself. Listen to the next episode.
And before the next episode, make sure we get 5 Hoot topics if you want to hear this electric record from Sam.
Yep. If you don't want to miss out, let it be you. Send a Hoot topic. We're not gonna think you're weird. We're gonna appreciate it. If you send a thing that says Hoot topic and then the message is hi, that I'll count that. It's
Yeah.
something. Ideally, you send a question, but either way,
You can send Hoot topics via YouTube comment as well if you prefer that,
it's
or
true.
send us a message to our Instagram, Birds Are Real Pod, or our email, Birds Are Real Pod,
Birds
Birds
are
Are Real
real
dot pod
dot pod. Yep.
dot pod at gmail.com.
If you're watching on YouTube, that is in the top left corner, the entire episode.
Cool.
Great.
Well, thanks for tuning in to another wonderful episode of the Birds Are Real podcast.
Yep.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies about us. Um, yeah, we're we're
Sure.
we're looking to blow up.
Can't wait to celebrate the 12 days of Birdmas with you all. All right. Well, I gotta be like a
Great.
woodcock and bounce. So.